Us is directed and produced by Jordan Peele and stars Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke as part of a family that goes on vacation to Santa Cruz. But unfortunately, this vacation gets cut short when they meet another family that looks exactly like them and ultimately wreaks havoc and tries to kill them. This movie was insane. I love Jordan Peele. He's one of my all-time favorites. I loved his time back at Mad TV to his time in Comedy Central where he was doing Key and Peele. He was a comical genius. So it's very exciting to see his transformation throughout these years. Get Out was a masterpiece, easily one of my favorite movies of all time, and I loved it because it was different. It's one of those movies that really made you think. It's more of a psychological thriller rather than a horror movie. I like how it builds up the story, and at the end, your mind is blown. There are elements throughout the movie that don't quite make sense, and you don't fully understand everything until after the movie ends. Us is a little bit different in that it's a lot more ambiguous. Get Out was much easier to understand. When I first came out of the theater for Us, I was feeling a little bit conflicted. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know what the fuck I just watched. It felt like I had low IQ because I just couldn't make sense of it all. It was a lot to take in. My brain couldn't process everything in the short amount of time that I had. But now that I've spent some time thinking about it, watched a few videos and some few interviews, etc., I can now say that this movie was fucking fantastic. Us is more horror-based than Get Out. There was a lot of suspense, a lot more blood, and a lot of dark and eerie environments. But at heart, I still think it is a psychological thriller. Because for me at least, Us wasn't really too violent or horrific. Yes, there was blood, but the violence was very minimal at the fact that when there was a killing, it would just cut away. Us is horrifying, but more in a psychological way. You know, the whole idea of there being another you. It depends on the person. Some might find this more horrifying than others. But for me, it didn't really faze me. Mostly because I didn't really dream of or thought of anybody that looked like me try to fuck me up. But now that I think about it, yeah, I might have to stay away from mirrors from now on. The score for this movie was phenomenal. I fucking loved it. It was perfect for the situations, and it brought chills down my spine. I almost want to say that it made the movie for me, but I know that that probably isn't the case. Jordan Peele makes people understand that you don't need gore, you don't need bloody violence or cheap jump scares to make a horror movie. You can make something that is genuinely scary by presenting an idea, a concept that is executed in a psychological way. Not just pointless killing or some kind of monster or body horror. I saw this from a Jordan Peele interview, but he said that the most truly scary horror films are based around real environments. And that's the exact type of horror movies that he is going for. And I couldn't agree more with this. It's one way to make a horror movie with these fictional monsters, something that we've seen time and time again. But it's another way to make a horror movie about an ordinary family who encounters a home invasion, which is essentially what this film is about, and making that seem very terrifying. And for that, I'm very excited for what kind of movie that Jordan Peele brings to us next. I'm going to rate Us an A-. So Us, did you see it or not? Did you like it or did you hate it? Please leave a comment about your thoughts below. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a sub to help the channel. Also, feel free to check out my previous video. Until next time.